Hello, 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 everyone, and welcome to Power in Nursing with Sharon Herbert, the Power RN. And it's a happy Monday. So it's Monday Nurses Life. And as usual, I have been exploring several topics over the week, and it's all about you. It's all about nurses' lives. At Monday Nurses Life, we look at what's happening in the world of nursing and how to make our presence here in the office a benefit for you. And today's topic is coaching. Coaching is important. You are important. And you might consider yourself even as important as a major professional athlete. They have coaches, don't they? Now, what do coaches do? What do coaches do for those athletes? Football, baseball, basketball, tennis, swimming, volleyball, all types of sports, ice skating, anything you can think of. If there's a sport that folks get paid to play, they have a coach. And if they're working their way up to being that person that's a professional athlete and gets paid to play, there's a coach. But there are also coaches for singers, dancers, bakers, all kinds of professions have coaches. And what do coaches do? Coaches help those persons to grow in their status. And whether it's being more creative, as in dancing, or if it is about the art of movement in the dancing, or swimming, or volleyball, those things are important as well. And the folks who find themselves motivated to learn more and do better often, most often, will seek a coach. So, how does that affect your idea of nursing? Who in nursing has a coach? Who in nursing has a coach? Right now, we're going to put one little sticker, one little pin in one other little message. A coach and a mentor are not quite the same, but we will get back to that probably at a later date. But they are not the same. So, if we don't get to speaking on that today, you can go look it up. Google it. What's the difference? You don't hear about baseball or basketball players, swimmers having a mentor. You hear about them having a coach. Someone who helps them be better, be their best self, their best performer, their best jumper, their best swimmer. That's a coach. And okay, we'll leave that right there because one other challenging moment that you may uncover is you go to Google, you might find, well, she said there's no such thing as nursing coaches, but I found it, a nursing coach. Let me ask you, what does a nurse coach do when you find it in Google? Is that coach for you, or is that coach for a patient? A patient or even a group of patients? The nurse coaching that's available as a program that's for certification is directed for the care and services of the patients. So whether it's a diabetic nurse coach who helps keep those persons that are diabetic on track with their dietary habits, their eating, their sleeping, their shopping, their bathing, their nail clipping, all of those, their medications, their renewing and refilling their prescriptions. There's a lot of things to do. And around the home, how the home is set up, how you're storing your medications and food, so many things to do. But it has really nothing to do with you as your care for yourself as the nurse. And that's where we want to be. We are dedicated here to your life. Nurses' life matters. Nurses' lives matter. Your life matters. So our goal is to keep you safe and healthy and happy and confident and empowered. Lots of things that we are setting as goals. And one at a time, we will review them and move forward. But it's about you. Who's going to care about you? Even if you become the certified nurse coach. I don't want to say nurses coach because the nurse's life coach is me. You're not going to find anybody else out there who's a nurse's life coach because I am dedicated to your health, mental health, physical health, emotional health, spiritual health, your total self and your well-being. Because we can't serve anyone else until we are able to care for ourselves and maintain our health and wellness. That's a big job, but we can do it. We can do it once we now have identified what the nurse's life coach exists for. Exists for nurses, not for patients directly. But as you are better and well received and coping with your stressors, you are well able then to care for others. And that's really the bottom line. As they say on the airplane about your oxygen, when there's a safety concern, the oxygen mask comes down, you put it on yourself first so that you are able to care for others now because you have cared for yourself. You're available, and then you can move to the next person or need. So remember that. Nurses need to be cared for, and we can't always be superhuman. We've got to care for ourselves and each other. So that's the need for the nurse's life coach. You've got a lot going on. You've got a professional life, but you've also got a personal life. You have loved ones. You have children. You have pets. You have neighbors. You have pastors. You have grandparents. You have lots of things that you are concerned about. And some of those folks are concerned back about you. So we need to be aware that we do merge and uh, spend time with other people. Just like on the plane, that oxygen mask. When you're sick, your family's going to be concerned. And if you're not caring for yourself, they will be concerned as well. And they might even be afraid. So, who is going to help you to develop the skill set to care for yourself so that you can care for others? That would be a coach to make you better self, to make you a better self so that you can cope with your professional and personal components of your life and stay happy and confident and become empowered to do those things for yourself and for your loved ones. So, the coach helps you become the better you and, as I say, live your best nurse life. Hmm, there's a period there. So, that's point. That's one point. Now, where can you find a coach? And you might think, well, maybe my boss is a coach. Maybe. But you're going to have to do the homework to find out what the role of your leader is in respect to you and the rest of your colleagues. If there is one director, manager, supervisor who is responsible for 65 paid employees on your unit, where do you fall? Where do you fall in that number? And how available will that person be to become a coach? And as well, does your supervisor really know how to be a coach? Or are they just a leader? Important to know. And in your organization, has your supervisor or leader been trained to be a coach? It is not just everybody's a coach because they say they're a coach. There is a strategy and there is a process. It is a process. You don't just become a coach today because you said so. So ask your leaders what their interest is in being a coach and how they engage their employees in being better in their care and service for the patients, but also the care and service to themselves. Let's see what they say. And it is important for you all to know that you get to choose your coach. You get to choose your coach. So be prepared to ask a number of questions. Things you can consider is if they've been trained at all. You might think, well, you know what? Well, my leader or my charge nurse, well, she was just, at the bedside, about maybe 3 or 4 months ago, and now I'm not really sure if she really is going to be able to help me get through my concerns about an upcoming certification that I was considering and be able to walk me through the good, the bad, and the ugly. Yes, that's what your coach should be doing, helping you to move forward. And in your organization, in the C-suite, where the big wigs are, the big leaders, you may or may not know if your potential choice for the coaching gig is available to know what's going on in the C-suite. If you are concerned that there's going to be a major layoff coming, you should be able to ask your coach. If that is your manager or your supervisor or your leader, they should be sharing information with the staff that is relevant, and it might not be everything, and it shouldn't be personal information. And we know about HIPAA. You know it's not going to be that. So think about what you're thinking when you're making a choice for a coach. And again, nurse managers also have additional duties, and they do include fiscal responsibilities. So they're looking at the budget. Quality responsibilities, they may be looking at outcomes for patients. How many patients code on a certain day, time, or in a month? They need to look at that. And what about safety? What about workplace violence? That is a quality issue. They're responsible for that. And human resources responsibilities, like how many nurses are leaving. Retention is a big, big part of what they need to be considering daily. So they have lots of things on their plate that you may or may not know about. Just consider asking or observing whether or not they have enough time for you. If they're never in their office because they're at some meeting every day, all day, that might be something that you think about. Is that going to be a person who's going to be available to you? Also, remember that if you have concerns about job satisfaction or you're thinking of leaving, decide on what you're going to do with that information. Would you feel safe telling this person who is now going to tell someone else because it's their friend? But it's not friend business. It's not friend business. So just think about that. So a coach is someone to help you build yourself, your career, if and as you choose, and has the ability to help you move forward. They should not be someone that holds you back because you're going to get more degrees than they have. So think about those things. And your nurse leaders, or managers might be looking for some certain benchmarks or looking for engaging a certain number of people for a project, either in the hospital organization or in your unit. And one thing that I can think about off the top of my head is magnet. So think about those things and what you want for your nurse life. If you want to be able to work just weekends, ask your manager that piece. And if you're having some challenges with the timing of your decision, those are the things that you will ask a coach. How it can work for you to work through the process with a coach who's had experience working with people who have those same challenges or haven't worked them themselves. I worked as a weekend nurse long ago when it was a good time for me because it gave me Monday through Friday off, and I had kids in elementary school, actually in two different schools. And that was best for me because we got to spend the days getting back and forth to school, but also making lunches and doing homework. And I got to see them go to their ballet lessons. That was great for me. But there became a time as they grew older that didn't work that well for me because they needed me to be at home on the weekend when they had now their whole ballet program or the basketball game. So you have to think about what you need as you are making decisions about choosing a coach. Is this person going to be able to help you to see the forest for the trees? If they are not a nurse, it might be a challenge for you to think, well, they could probably help me because, they helped somebody else who was, building a bridge. Well, just think about it. You want your coach to be able to help you, and to be able to do that, and you'd have to decide on this a timely manner and what your relationship will be. Because coaching is also all about relationships. You have to make yourself able to be available, and there's going to be a component of vulnerability between you and your coach. You might decide you don't want to tell those deepest secrets, but if you were planning to leave the organization and you needed to decide what you're going to say to your leader, that may be something that that nurse coach can help you through. If you're thinking about going back to school and going to a full-fledged nursing master's program because you want to be a nurse practitioner, that's going to be a full-time exercise for you. And that may be something that you want to discuss with someone who's been through it so that they can help you make some decisions on where you're going to go and what you're going to do. What's the tuition like? Is there a possibility that you can get a scholarship? What else can your nurse coach work with you through to make this a success for you? And that's the most important part of relationships with a nurse coach. And if you choose your leader or your manager at work, remember that you're going to have some times when you can't be a client and a nurse coach. You're going to have to be a nurse and a leader. So think about those relationships, and it's important to do that before you set up a full-fledged, we're going to be, nurse X and coach X. So think about that. It's time for many of us to grow as we have gone through COVID land, and now we've gone to monkeypox and the flu and RSV and certain new variants that are still coming to the forefront, I don't know, every other week. There are things you need to think of for your own self. You love nursing, that's why you're here. But know that you do not have to stay at the bedside on the med-surg unit. You can make choices for yourself to grow your life and change your life. I'm not telling you to leave nursing, but I am saying consider doing the things you love, or at least like. If you got to the med-surg unit and you've been there a year and you've been there 2 years and you think you might want to be a travel nurse somewhere along the line, get some other experiences. Whether you decide, maybe I think I can do a part-time in a ambulatory surgery service. Hey, give it a whirl. Give it a whirl. Make it safe for you and your family and your colleagues. But try new things. You don't have to stay in the first place that you have gone to. But you can avail yourself of a coach who's been down many, many roads or seen different experiences and can help you find more information about what you're thinking about. And that's the benefit of having someone who is available to you. And for myself, as a coach, I have been a growing coach probably since almost since I started nursing. I wanted to be a nurse or a teacher when I was young, but as I got to nursing, it became my fun actually to help new grads become their success and pass their boards and come back and work with us. And as a preceptor for probably at least 100 new grads, I love the teaching component. And it helped me to see them flourish as we progressed, and then they worked beside me. It was so thrilling. But it's got to be something that you love to do, growing, and as a coach, coaching. You learn along the way. As I said, I started as a preceptor, training them through the process of being a new grad. And there were certain coursework for them. They had classes, and then they had orientation with the preceptor certain days of the week. And so I was a preceptor, and they had an educator that was in the classroom. And that worked out well for me because I love teaching. I love teaching. So as you grow up, you might find that there are certain other things you might learn or love that you didn't know when you first came to your first job as a new grad. So think about some ways that you can build and fulfill your own self, because that will leave you with making a real difference in the world. The people you touch as you grow, and the people that you touch when you're finishing your growth, as you become that nurse practitioner or that nurse faculty or that nurse baker. You want to create new things for Nurses Week because you've had some particular designs in mind since you became a nurse. And you just stayed at the bedside, and then you became tired of that, and now you want to create a scrub line. Do what you love and love what you do. It will not be work for you. I promise you, every time I get in front of this camera to talk to all of you, I am smiling. Sometimes I wanted to throw this darn camera away because it was clicking and ticking, but I love what I do. And I love helping you to get to your success and take those next steps. You don't have to stay anywhere that you don't want to be. There's room for growth and exploration in this country, the next country, and around the world. I am now an international speaker. I've gotten an opportunity to speak in Croatia over the summer, and I am looking forward to speaking in Paris in March. And it is my pleasure to help nurses stay safe and grow. And there are a number of ways that you can help others along the way. But we've got to learn to put ourselves first. And that doesn't mean you discount everyone else, but put yourself first so that you can be safe and able to pursue your dreams. And that will make you smile too. So as we're coming up to about 30 minutes of this presentation, I want to make sure that you know that coaches are available. I know so many coaches that are here for you, whether you're a nurse or not a nurse. Life coaches, we love you. Coaches who are here to provide you with just some health components. Maybe it's about self care. We do coping with stressors, how to be motivated, and you can learn things that you can share with others so that they don't have to go through some of those same stressors that you have struggled with. Whether they're short staffing, mandatory overtime, low pay, too many hours, all of those phone calls begging you to come to work, begging you to stay over, and you don't want to hear that anymore? Let's work on helping you get to where you can cope. Managing might not be the best outcome because if you stay in nursing, it's going to be something. And if you went back to ask Florence Nightingale, she's going to tell you about short staffing. And that's been over 100 years. So how can we cope with that? Can we work with scheduling? Can that help with resolving some of the issues with short staffing? Maybe. But we have to work on it. So let's get started. Think about your life, your nurse life, and how we can make it better for each other. I've been in places where we've done, you know, ping pong with the scheduling. I work for you, you work for me, and then someone else works for that person, and we get it all done. And we get it all done safely and efficiently and effectively. So there are things we can do, and coaches can help you think about some of the challenges and some of the changes. So we're all about transformation. Let's work it together and make each of our days lead to your best nurse life. Love you guys. Love you guys. Happy, happy Thanksgiving to each and every one of you, whether you celebrate with a turkey or not. Just be thankful for being here because I am thankful each and every one of you are here and on earth to serve those in need. We love you. We'll see you soon. And be ready for the anthology project we'll be launching later on this week. So we will share that with you. And so we'll be back. Love you guys, and we'll see you soon. Bye bye now.